brand new week, and I'm glad to say you're welcome to the Joy News Desk. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano. Today is March 10th, and it means one thing. The Adomi Bridge closes down for major repair works. Here's what we'll do this morning. We'll cross over live to the area and bring you up to speed exactly how people are faring with the closure of the Adomi Bridge. Finally, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing visits the Ajekojo, where hundreds of residents were rendered homeless after the TDC razed down their homes some weeks back. We'll bring you up to speed. As soon as they get there, we'll let you know what's happening as we cross over live to the area. We've heard of corporate social responsibility, but if you live in a mining community, how have you felt that? Have you felt your community benefiting from corporate social responsibility as far as mining firms are concerned? I'd love to know. So share your thoughts with me on that, on any of the other topics we are discussing this morning on social media platforms. Joynews on TV, on Facebook, and on Twitter, Joynews on TV. I tweet as well at Kemini. In the meantime, let's get into our first issue of the day, which has to do with the closure of the Adomi Bridge. You recall that sometime last week, the Ghana Highway Authority told us that it was going to close down the Adomi Bridge for major repair works, and it was going to take 2 years for those repair works to be done. Hence, they provided ferries to help travelers cross over that bit of the Volta River. But how exactly are commuters responding to this closure? My colleague Sraha is there live. She's joining us on News Desk with an update. Hello, Ya. Hello, Ya.
Hello, Kemini.
Right. What's been happening?
Okay, Kemini, the closure of the Adomi Bridge was there was an official ceremony done by officials of the Ghana Highway Authority and traditional authorities in the Senchi area, where they performed some rites to officially close the bridge. But I currently find myself here at Senchi, where the two ferries, the supposed two ferries to the vehicles and the pedestrians to the other side are here. Currently, what we find now is just one of the ferry working, the Senchi one working. The other one, Akade, we learned is faulty. Even though it was used very early in the morning, we learned that it had a mechanical fault. So as I speak currently, it's only one ferry that is currently working. Passengers are stranded here. Vehicles are in long queues. I can count over 100 vehicles at the loading bay waiting to be fed to the other side of the road. And then it looks like all is not set yet for this closure. Even though the closure was anticipated or announced earlier, it looked like officials or authorities here were not really ready for the closure of the road, because at the loading bay we realized that where the sets are, the market sets are not even ready. Traders I spoke to earlier on have complained that they were not told about any relocation, and as they find it, they have had to sell in the open sun, the cotton sun, and they are very disturbed about it. They've been trying to talk to the district chief executive and then the engineer as well, who is yet to get ready for them and explain what they intend doing to get the shares ready by the end of the week. And also, drivers have also complained about the fares being charged. They say that when they were paying the road tolls, for instance, they were paying like 1 cedi to supply the route. But one driver I spoke to who is using a pickup mentioned that instead of the 1 cedi, he's being made to pay 12 cedis. A pickup, an urban bus, he's being asked to pay 12 cedis, which he thinks is just way too much. And he's pleading with the GPLCU if they could do anything about it so that they could also increase the fares to also use them as well. Kemini.
I see. Let me just inform our viewers that on your screens at the moment are live pictures from the Adomi Bridge, where my colleague Sraha is reporting from. But yeah, we realize that the area is very busy. Tell us how people are being ferried across the river.
Okay, Kemini, you know that the ferry is picking both passengers and vehicles as well. And officials told us that apparently they can pick like 20 vehicles at a spot, which will take like 30 minutes. That is the loading and then the transporting and then the offloading as well. Will take about 30 minutes. But it looks like it is not moving as anticipated. It's picking up though, but it's very so slow. And cars are really stranded here. Passengers are so stranded. They are really complaining. Those who were not aware and just heard the information this morning on air are sat here and they are complaining. But as we can see, just one ferry is working at the moment. And looking at the numbers, we were told that
right. How does it feel about being ferried across?
Hello, Kamini, can you hear me?
How do they feel about how they are being ferried across?
Okay, Kamini, at the moment they are okay, but they just would want authorities to speed up with the work on the other ferry, which is faulty now and it is yet to get back on the river. It looks like it's just making it so slow for the movement. Just one of the ferry working is making it slow for them to get to their various destinations. So they would want authorities to speed up with whatever work is now being done on the Akade ferry as I speak now, Kamini.
I see. So yeah, at the moment you are Senti.
Yes, Kamini.
I see. We're getting some live visuals from Senti at the moment. That is the ferry that is actually conveying cargo and passengers across that bit of the Volta River. Yeah. So what do we know about when the Akade ferry will be back on the river?
Okay, Kamini, we just spoke to the consultant, the civil engineer consultant, who is saying that they're still working on it and then they hope that in an hour time it should be ready to fare these people across board. So we're just hoping that it will be ready. But when we got here, they said that it was working, but just a few minutes it just went off. And I think that the try test, when it was done, the ferry was okay, but we don't know, maybe because of the load as at now, that is how come the ferry has to go down. But we just hope that by midday, everything will be solved and then passengers will be moved smoothly to their various places.
Yeah, the pictures you are bringing us now to, we see this huge excavator. It seems to be doing something. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Kamini, as I told you earlier, it looks like the district assembly or the people of Senti were not really so prepared for the closure of the road. Some of them say that because there had been so much postponement with the closure of the road, some works were not really, or some things were not really put in place before it. And then this area where we currently stand, it looks like the place was a muddy area. So just like I told you earlier, the market shed area was so muddy that they say that they had to just fill up the place and make sure that everything is set. So it looks like still construction work is being done, and they are trying to get things in place for the people to be comfortable. So you can see the ferry landing, and then you see passengers and vehicles docking here at the moment, Kimini.
In the course of our conversation past, you have told us that the commuters keep asking for something to be put in place. What are they expecting?
Okay, Kamini, for example, a place of convenience, for instance, is not yet ready. Looks like an improvised one is being done for them now. And then well, I'm not getting the word, but this particular one, the makeshift one, what does it look like? Okay, Kamini, it's more of the plastic one, the movable one, the mobile one that you see. It is only one we can find in the area currently. But looking at the number of people here waiting to be transported to their destination, Kamini, I'm sure one will not only be okay. We'll try and speak to some of the passengers who are now on board and see how they feel about this new ferry.
Just before you do that, how many of these temporal toilets facilities do we have?
Kemini, as I told you, I've only observed one of them, but we'll try and speak to some of the passengers as they come aboard. Madam, good morning. Because who are like on more city, you can see this out there. Also, ferry, no sign, it's a shame. Oh, I'm fine. I'm going to get now, do you know how many hours and Sana also? Oh, and this thing is that I have to come by. Okay. Now, more party more can as an ambassador for the same and it's no time. That's right. That's it. No problem. I have to go. I don't think I can. Okay, today now for some way, some more, Mamma. I don't want to put the back on me. Now I can't make that to the end to get the two. Okay. So, Kamini, we just spoke to one passenger who mentioned that there should be more like canoes or boats to also fare some of these passengers because it looks like there's much traffic on the other side of the river. And then if more can be done, it can ease the traffic that is being created now, both vehicular and then human traffic at both sides of the lake, Kamini.
I see, but have works begun on the Adomi Bridge itself?
Yes, I mean, when we got there in the morning, workers were aside ready preparing the place for construction work to begin. In fact, it looks like they started with a barricade so that vehicles would not go through or use the bridge. But we also realized that some passengers were using the bridge. But officials have told me that they will not even allow passengers to use the bridge because we're looking at the work that's supposed to be done, the rehabilitation that's supposed to be done, it will be dangerous and it might cause a disaster. So at a point, they would just not let any movement take place on the bridge. But I mean, we earlier also spoke to the DCE who mentioned that in trying to help the situation, they're also providing some canoes which would help passengers transport that will help passengers transported easily because it looks like the ferry is taking a bit of time. So I think when the canoes are also in place, it would help ease the situation here at Kamini.
I see, but these canoes and the Volta River, we know we've had stories. What safety measures are they putting on those canoes?
Can you come again? I can handle it.
I'm asking, what safety measures did the DCE tell you they're putting on the canoes?
Hello?
These canoes that the DCE hopes to provide commuters, how safe are they?
Okay, Kamini, we are yet to see some of them on the river, but I'm sure that it would be safe with life jackets on board as well because it looks like without this it will be difficult for the people to be fed down. And Kamini, one major issue that the pedestrians here and the residents here are complaining about is the time. They are looking at the duration where the ferry will be working. The ferry is said to work from 6 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. in the evening, and passengers are complaining that it would not be fair to them because looking at the slow nature of how they are being carried, it's going to be difficult. We are looking out for the we have the MP in the area. And we want to talk to him looking at the constraints raised here. Honorable, good morning. You are live on Joynews Multi TV. And we want to find out, people have complained about the inconvenience of the ferry working from 6 to 6. And what do you say about it?
Well, currently the arrangement is that the ferry will work from 6 to 6 for 1 week. We will review the situation and if need be, we would increase the hours. So today is the first day. Let us look at how it is shaping. Already we can see that there is traffic jam at the back here. Luckily for us, we're able to construct a holding bay that is beginning to hold the cars from the main road. So we don't have traffic on the main road, but we have a lot of traffic at the side. Now people should exercise restraint and exercise patience because with these things, comes with inconvenience. As long as the inconvenience is not unreasonable and unbearable, Ghanaians should accept the situation because if we had not closed the bridge, there would have been a disaster. are waiting to happen, and we don't want to have any disaster on our hands. That is why we have decided that people should cross the river from this end. Of course, there will be inconvenience. We are aware of that. People should bear with us. But at the end of the day, their life, their safety is of paramount concern to us.
Okay, Honorable, the GC earlier mentioned that they are going to provide canoes to help with pedestrians.
It is not canoes. You can see the speed boat come out here.
Okay.
You will see it this way. We are going to put it on the water, and we'll be ferrying people across so fast. This one, we have about 3 of them.
Okay.
So they'll be going up and down. Then we can also have, we have 2 at the other side. So with human beings crossing, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
But with vehicles, there's going to be...
Their safety is of paramount concern to us.
Okay, Honorable, the GC earlier mentioned that they are going to provide canoes to help with pedestrians.
It is not canoes. You can see the speed boats come out here.
Okay.
You will see this way. We have about 3 of them.
Okay.
So they'll be going up and down. Then we can also have, we have 2 at the other side. So with human beings crossing, there's going to be some delay. Obviously, the bridge, the activity is about 5 to 10 seconds. This one is going to take about 10 to 20 minutes to load and cross. So obviously, the speed at which the vehicles are going to cross will not be the same as the Adomi bridge. However, we needed to close it so we can rehabilitate it for future use. The cost of not repairing it would far outweigh the cost of closing it down. So I think we are in the right direction for closing the bridge. Now we have to look at the situation here, and once the situation is reviewed, we'll be able to make the necessary adjustments so that people...
Okay, we realized that there were supposed to be 2 of the ferries working, and as of now, how soon are we going to see the second one on the...
In fact, I am devastated to hear that it's only 1 ferry that is currently operating. In fact, we hope that whatever is not allowing it to operate should be ameliorated so that we can get the other ferry working so that there can be ease of traffic across both sides.
With the review of the working schedule for the ferries, what have the authorities of the...
Right, we'll continue to bring you live feed from St. Chi, where it's also a ferry point as far as the closure of the Adomi Bridge is concerned. But you took a listen to my colleague Sraha. She was engaging the Member of Parliament for the area as to which other provisions, alternatives they are making to ferry commuters across that bit of the Volta River. But we'll get into general safety of these boats and ferries when we raise Sraha over the telephone. She'll tell us what she's observed as far as that is concerned. But here's what I want to know. If you have crossed the river today, let me know what it was like. I'd love to share that with the rest of us here in the News Desk community. In the meantime, I understand that Sraha is back over the telephone. Hello, yeah.
Hello, Kemini.
Right, and so we realized you were talking to the Member of Parliament who said they won't be canoes, but they'll rather be boats. What do you say about safety, general safety on the bank of the river and on the river itself?
Okay, Kemini, we can see heavy security presence here, and then officials of the Ghana Highway Authority ensuring that the place is safe for people. But we realize that it looks like the one way in and the one way out is creating the inconvenience, because we realize that the cars that are trying to get ready to load onto the ferry use one lane, and then when the others that are crossing from the other side to dock at St. Chi would also have to use one lane. But what I observed was that they had packed with their back. So when they are coming out and there's not much space, it looks very dangerous, especially for those ones that are packed waiting to be loaded onto the ferry. So for now, I think think authorities are still reviewing the process and are still in a tightness to make sure that situation here normalize and then at least the inconvenience caused would be minimized a bit.
Right, so you watching wherever you are, you're seeing live pictures from St. Ferry Point. Is the point where you're able to cross over the Adomi Bridge. And Yafuso Jemfi is still with us. Yeah? Are there divers? Have you seen anybody? Say if someone is drowning, what will be the option for that person?
Hello, Dominic.
I'm asking, if you, as part of the safety measures, have you observed any divers in the area? Have you spoken to any?
Yeah, Dominic, we are yet to take an interview on that because it looks like the situation has overwhelmed the authorities here. So even with the Ghana Highway authorities, most of them have had to join the ferry forth and back. So we are yet to speak to them to find out what safety measures they put in place. But we have some passengers here who are so stranded and would want to share their views here. So hold on. Good morning. What's for you for now? Now, to see how we do our best time. Now, but I'm now so some close the bridge. No one step one thing there. One now so you don't want to say that one. You need to have it. 3 hours, 4 hours. Like man. Okay. Yo, but then you
7 o'clock. Yeah, that's what you know. Line night, different line and 4 ban on a beer fine amount. No, near line that's what yes, you're quite done by. You're quite with Diga. Some 10 o'clock. Yeah, that's what you know. Time bank and Sunny better done by. Near Quadiga. One now, so and so on, and Tamqua. Yeah, you need to have a delay 3 hours, 4 hours near that should delay ma. Yanso. It's here. So bad.
Hello, Kemini.
Right, yeah.
Hello, Kemini.
Yeah, I can hear you. That's a very unhappy trader. I can assume that it will be very uncomfortable to wait for 3 to 4 hours to go across the Volta River on a ferry. But yeah, one thing that is missing, you know, the usual sale and business around the Adomi Bridge. One would expect that the business would be moved to St. Ferry Point. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Kamini, I think I earlier mentioned that these traders have been relocated, but the place allocated to them is still not ready. If you look in the visuals, you can see that the chairs are still being roofed. And these are worried about the situation. So you find some of them going up and down trying to do this here and there. You don't see much activity of business like you could see at Atimpoku earlier those days before the closure of the bridge. But just a few business women working here and there, and especially with the yam sellers, the fried yam sellers, they've complained that today they will not be able to do any business because the place is not ready for them, and they can't peel their yams and start frying it just anyhow for pedestrians or for consumers. So for today, they might have to hold on with the yam and selling. But you can see, as for the bread sellers, they are out on their usual business, and a few of the kebab sellers too are also around, and a few of them are also around doing business here and there.
Right.
But we'll hold on and talk to some of them and find out how business has been so far for them. Though we can't see the young sellers, I'm sure for the bread and then the pure water, we'll find a lot of them in business. Yeah,
but while you do that, tell me something. If the Accra ferry is not back to work in a few hours, do you think we can ferry all of the lineup across the river?
Yeah, Kamini, it looks like if the Akade ferry is not back today, they would have to extend the working schedule. But as we spoke to the MP earlier, who mentioned that it's a maritime rule that it would not be safe working after 6, I just hope that they would just find a way of making sure that those who are stranded here would be able to cross the lake and get to their destination. But you can see in the shots a long queue, vehicles parked for hours, and we just hope that by 5 or 6, all these people would have been just transported over.
And so if they are not able to go across the river by 6, what can they do? Come back to Accra or wherever they are coming from?
I think the loading bay is just a part that has been done. Not like any guest house or any sleeping place provided yet for these people. But we just that by 6, they should have been able to serve these people, because it looks like some of them are also not aware that there was going to be any closure of the bridge. And those who are aware too have mentioned that they did not know the exact time, so that is how come they couldn't set off that early from wherever they were coming from.
If a commuter does not want to go across the river to his or her destination, what would be the alternative route?
I think there's also another route that has been created by the Ghana Highway Authority at other alternative route at Third Road, which I'm also yet to Akade. We learned the Akade Junction. There's a Third Road, which is the alternative route provided for commuters. From Accra, you can use the Akade route. But we also yet to check on that to find out whether that place is also completed and safe for commuters to use the place.
I see. This project is for 2 years, and from what we are seeing, from the pictures you're bringing us now, the civil works that the Ghana Highway Authority promised will be there are barely done. It means that this is going to be the situation over the next few months.
Yes, we earlier spoke to the civil engineer, especially from the district assembly, who mentioned that at least by the end of the week, they should be done with some of the work here. But these traders are so frustrated, and then we'll speak to some of them and find out what their issues are. Well, good morning. If I saw alive, I will join this multi-TV. Yeah, but here, because I'm more again, I am moving over Haseno. Saying I had a STM. I'm ready, and I'm going to. Okay. Next, and now what from idea? Sign up business at your farm. And then me, okay. We'll speak to more of the traders. Ma'am Pacho, good morning. Pacho, now over here business in the sign it again. How you bad there? You need a mother, you need to cry. I know, the body of the good year. I put you know here and the restaurant. But I'm here, remember, yes, to say the man. And yes, Slap on his back. The baby of the Roman Wyatt. Near to the actually a metal point, and yes, for only ever go. I can go past that. Now, to see when you're baby over town when you're now the idea and tell me what about my
we'll speak to more of the traders. Ma'am Pacho, good morning.
Morning, my dear.
Now, over here, business in the sign is here.
How you bad dear? You need a mother, you need to cry. I had your crop. The body of the good year. I put you know here and the veteran. So, you may remember yet to say the man. Into a slap and say, baby, I'm about to Roman Wyatt. Near to the actually a metal point, and yes, idea. Probably ever go. I think Boca so.
See, I want your baby over town when you're man.
One more but my one year, my. Not only have a good view of your and also I can't answer one time, my. As I said, work in Sudan, and you did near Coffee near my daily baby. It's a slap on why you have a ball.
I am paying for dinner, my catcher, my father.
Gosh, I was here and the baby. The bay is an on the catcher, and I say, bread one. You're not going to be a catcher and say, and that year, you're not the same to say, you're not Biam and the cash, and that's a big whack again. And for Subian is so.
So we are speaking to more of the traders who have raised concerns about their relocation. They mentioned that they have not been allocated places, and they have had to sell in the scorching sun. Good morning, ma.
Ma, good fine morning.
Mpacho
mi tombrodo.
And the business na sign yako.
And the business ni dan kwa ye kura ye be yo bia antoshi fitano pa be 4 o'clock 5 o'clock ye betina ha. Obi antoshi market ni nye kasi jina obi an be bisadu ani bia. Asise ye ton den. Bridge na wo tu mu no anu ti na ma abasa.
Na bridge dey say yes the be ya ahoche accident bia na say we boni bia ensi but mo ba ha say no mo shirt na ni ade dey asem na ya ka kire mo fa ho
o mo anka hwe ya nkire ye enu ya ni say wo so wo tu bridge no mu ti dey anu ani say ye nyina what ya o ma say say ye say ye ni amaba ha no o mo anye hwe ya mfa ho panyi bia so ambeka hwe ya nkire ye ye tete ewie mu a obi aso ambebisa ye hwe
Kemini. Hello, Kemini.
Right, yeah, I can hear you, and at this point, we'd like to say thank you very much for that report. We'll bring us more on subsequent broadcasts. We've been talking to Ya Fosuwa Jimfi. She's at St. Ferry Point. Now, this point was created because of the closure of the Adomi Bridge, a project we understand would take 2 years to complete. Some major repair works are supposed to be done on the bridge. We understand the works have begun, except the civil works supposed to be done so that ferrying people across the river wouldn't be as tumultuous as we have seen already in the pictures Yafusu JP brought us. Have not been completed. Here's what we want to do. We want to get in touch with the Ghana Highway Authority and find out from them, really, why do we have this situation when it took, they had time to plan? Why do we have this? They were able to cost how much it was before the work started. We want to know why it is barely complete. Though they tell us that sometime end of week it should be completed. But if you have gone across the river, if you're yet to go across the river and you're watching, I'd like to know how it's been so far. Or maybe you haven't gone across the river, but you have some thoughts to share. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll share it with the rest of us here in this community. I'll be right back. You're watching News Desk. I'm glad you stayed on News Desk. Some of you have been sharing some of your messages already. Bonti Benjamin, who is very regular, says this is very shameful for a 57-year-old nation like Ghana. Our leaders must think about the nation and stop raising the flag of corruption high. I'm unsure what Bonti is talking about because this is supposed to do with the closure of the Adomi Bridge. But Red Pen Alcatel says very sad news for business personnel, but hope there is a substitute facility to work as a cross line. I'm sure there is, Red. Abasig Justin says, oh really? But are they closing for fun? No, they are not. For repair works. Stephen Anointed Boesiako Jr. says, it's good though, but this will slow down the activities of the affected towns. Anyway, it's good. And Richard Philemon Abuaji Botre is asking, and what are the measures being put in place for commuters? Richard, if you've been watching, I'm sure your question has been answered. Siki Sukre Mahon says, good, but will affect traders in that area. I guess that's the price we have to pay for us to avert any disaster on the Adomi Bridge. Harrison Kwesi Jr. says, I'm not going to read that, Harrison. Tom Dale Felsen Jagger says, neither that. Mustafa Sumaila Tembeli says, but why so? There's going to be repair works. I'm sure if you've read carefully the news we put to generate the messages. Some of you won't say what you're saying. But I'll move on to Kelvin Harley, who says this good. Benis Bosso says, I pray that God protects the lives of the workers. Amen. Those are your comments on the closure of the Adomi Bridge and the provision of ferries to ferry commuters across that section of the Volta River. The closure is for repair works, in case you haven't heard. But let's move on to something else. The Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing is visiting Ajekojo in Sraha, east of Tema. Hundreds of buildings, I'm sure you recall, were demolished in the January 21 demolition, which has displaced over 2,000 people in the community. The Tema Development Corporation last month denied reports in the media that it demolished 500 structures in the recent exercise it carried out at Ajekojo near Shaiman in the Tema West constituency. And so Matilda Vomega, who's been on this beat from start, is pitch camp at Sraha East awaiting the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing. Let's find out if they have arrived, finally. Hello, Matilda.
Hello, Kemini. Good morning.
Good morning to you. What have you observed?
Well, the Parliamentary Select Committee just got to the bill, so we are just waiting to hear what message exactly they have for.
Matilda, I can barely hear you.
Okay. I'm saying that the Parliamentary Select Committee just got to the bill, so we are just waiting to hear from them what exactly they are here to do.
But some time ago, we heard that even the makeshift structures that were provided by NADBO for these people were uprooted. They were brought down as well. Are there any people awaiting the Parliamentary Select Committee at all?
Yes, they are. They are. I think that the leader of the delegation has just started addressing them. So let me take my mic closer to them to find out what is
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Right.
Right, and so we're discussing the visiting of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing to Ajekojo Sraha East. I understand the leader of the group is on the floor. Let's take a listen now.
Parliamentary committee now, I have to say, and then
Unfortunately, we have very terrible feedback, and we're working on it to make sure it's clear so you and I can take a listen to what the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing is there to tell the residents who have lost their homes. And, well, that also means they are homeless. I'll be right back. I'm glad you stayed on News Desk. Let's go back to the visiting of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing to Ajekojo in Sraha East. No, Sraha East in Ajekojo, Tema. You recall that hundreds of buildings were demolished on January 21 in an exercise which displays over 2,000 people. And voila, those are some live pictures you see on your screens. live from there. Pretty shortly, we'll take a listen to exactly what they have been saying when we're joined by my colleague Matilda Bwamaga. I understand that the leader of the Parliamentary Select Committee is addressed the people already. But now it seems as though they're inspecting the extent of, do I call it damage? The extent of the exercise. Right, I understand Matilda Bwamaga is over the telephone. Hello, Matilda. Well, I have lost Matilda over there, but she'll bring us up to speed what we lost at the time we were fixing our technology. But yes, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing has finally visited Sraha East, Ajekojo in Tema West constituency. Now, this area, during an exercise January 21, saw hundreds of buildings come down, razed to the ground, displacing over 2,000 people in the community. Now, the Tema Development Corporation, which carried out the exercise last month, denied reports in the media that they demolished up to 500 structures in the exercise it carried out in the area. Pretty shortly, we'll be joined by Matilda Bwamaga, who will bring us up to speed what the Parliamentary Select Committee has been doing. But I mean, from what we can see on the screens at the moment, it started an inspection work of perhaps of the extent of the exercise, the buildings that were brought down. Matilda Bwamaga is back over the telephone. Hello, Matilda.
Hello, Kimmy.
So, what did we miss?
Oh, well, hello?
Yeah, Matilda, I can hear you.
You can hear me, okay. So, the Parliamentary Select Committee just arrived here, and they've been led by David Assomen, who is the MP for Shai Usiduku and the chairman for the Works and Housing Committee. So, he just briefed residents about their reason for their visit here this morning, and they are to assess the situation and report back to Parliament as such. But then residents are also hoping that
terrible network, and we have lost Matilda again. But if you didn't hear, I'll try to summarize what she said. She said David Assomen, who's chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee, has addressed residents who are still there at the site of the demolition, and he told them they are there to assess the extent of the exercise, assess the situation which has rendered them homeless. And as you can see, they are still doing that assessment, and I think we are curious to know exactly what are they looking out for in the assessment, what after the assessment. But yes, we're live at Ajekojo, Sraha East, specifically in Tema West constituency, where the Parliamentary Select Committee has finally visited the area to assess the extent of the demolition exercise carried out last month by the Tema Development Corporation. And we understand over 500 structures were involved, over 2,000 people were rendered homeless in the community. However, the TDC last month denied reports that the structures raised down were up to 500. David Assomen is in your shot now. He's the gentleman in the white and pink shirt, and he's chairman of the Parliamentary Works and Housing Committee. He, together with his team, is assessing the extent of the demolition at Sraha East, which has rendered some Ghanaians homeless. So there'll be more on this in subsequent broadcasts. We'll bring you exactly what they have found out when we get in touch with the committee after its inspection works, or assessment, if you like. at Sraha East, Ajekojo in the Tema West constituency. But yes, they have done it finally, and it's time for me to go as well. Today we've gone live to Senchi in the eastern region to take a look after the closure of the Adomi Bridge, how people are faring with going across that bit of the Volta River. Then we went to Ajekojo Sraha East, which is where we just came back from into the studio, where the Parliamentary Select Committee is assessing the extent of the demolition that took place last month. I'm totally grateful for all the comments you have sent through. There'll be more on both topics we have discussed this morning in subsequent broadcasts. There's CNBC's Power Lunch right after me. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano. This is the News Desk.